This is OPAC from the Predatory Lending Network out with the news that the International Energy Agency says oil has hit a bottom. What do you think of this, Superman?
Well, I remember a couple years ago they were having a competition with Mobil gasoline, the Arabian gasoline, where, what was it, Mobil and Argon gas was having a competition. And now that the presidency is getting ready to switch over, I think what they're doing is, they're trying to compete for the next president comes through, and then oil prices are going to go back up. I mean, it's almost guaranteed.
Now, North Dakota business is down 50% statewide since last year and is expected to fall further if oil does not go to $50 to $60 a barrel. What do you think of that?
It's just a poor excuse to try to get people to invest more in oil and for people to purchase more oil, for the competition to be able to go back down so they can have a higher demand on what they want for the oil prices. Honestly, like I said before, I really think we should be going into alternative forms of fuel. I mean, you can get biodiesel, you can get hydroelectric. There's all sorts of things out there. And if we just said, F you to the oil companies and just invested into those, we'd employ thousands of people. You know what I mean? Get a corn processing plant and have the biodiesel being produced from that. You know how many workers you'd hire to run that plant, that factory? So I say, don't let them bully you into submission.
Okay, will the seasonal rise in demand outweigh the Saudi Arabia and Iran price war? And what will this mean for North Dakota business?
Well, really America, we get a lot of our oil personally from Alaska and offshore drilling. And, we have a high investment in Iran and Saudi Arabia, hence why we like to go over there and pick wars. So we have an excuse to get more oil. Honestly, I think what's going to happen is if we stay strong and we don't let their competitive prices nudge us, they're going to give up or they're going to dry themselves out. You know what I mean? If a consumer makes the choice to buy our gas versus theirs, they're not going to be able to compete with us after a while. They're going to have to raise the prices or drop them lower. So I think what's going to happen is probably within the next 2 years, I think everything should start regulating, maybe even sooner than that.
Now, where do you see oil prices headed in the next 12 months, and what will this mean for North Dakota?
I think oil prices are going to go back up after we have selected our new president. So I think what will happen is oil prices will probably go back up to $50, $60 a barrel. And, North Dakota will do fine. Or, they can invest business in somewhere else, like automotive or, technical or any of the other vast majority of technical businesses that pay almost as much as big oil do.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Switch now to different forms of energy. I use solar power. Join Superman and do the wave of the future.
So it's OPAC from the Predatory Lending Network saying, buy oil! Now this is OPAC from the Predatory Lending Network out with the news that the International Energy Agency says oil prices have hit a bottom. What do you think of this?
That's a good thing, right? Cheaper for us. Yeah?
Now, North Dakota business is down 50% statewide since last year and is expected to fall further due to North Dakota business is down 50% statewide since last year and is expected to fall further if oil does not go to $50 or $60 a barrel. What do you think of this?
North Dakota business down 50%. Well, business being down isn't good, right? We need to keep everybody working and stuff. So, but I do like paying cheap gas, right? I mean, who doesn't? So it's, I guess we'll see what happens.
Now, will seasonal demand will the seasonal rise in demand outweigh the Saudi Arabia and Iran price war, and what will this mean for North Dakota?
It's a good question, Bub. It's a good question. Well, it's hard to say, really. Depends, I guess, how much they're producing out there, how much of their oil we do use, So.
Okay, and let's see. Now, where do you see oil prices headed in the next 12 months, and what will this mean for North Dakota?
They'll definitely be going up. It's what they do. They bring them up, and then they bring them down. So everybody goes out and buys SUVs when the prices are low, and then they jack the prices back up again.
So in closing, is there any last minute
That's what I've noticed anyway, just by paying attention. But hey, who knows?
Is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Rock and roll, people. Why don't you come down to Hollywood and join us for an epic photo? I'm Hollywood Wolverine, signing out. Yeah!
This is OPAC from the Predatory Lender saying, buy more oil. Now, this is OPAC from the Predatory Lending Network out with the news that the International Oil Agency says oil has hit a bottom. What do you think of this?
I'm wondering what's going on. Are they buying oil from other countries? Is it lowering? I don't know, but I think they need to. I think with the whole oil industry and stuff like that, they need to start, supporting some of our hardworking oil workers out here in North Dakota and all. It's a very hard world out there, and just to make it that much harder by lowering the oil prices and stuff like that, or going off and buying from elsewhere, that's not going to make it easier for the workers out there.
So in North Dakota, business is down 50% statewide since last year, and is expected to fall further if oil prices don't go to $50 or $60 a barrel. What do you make of that?
Wow, $50, $60 a barrel. I can't really imagine what'll go on with the workers and how they'll survive out there. I mean, to realize that a lot of those people are probably going to go out of work or probably try and find work elsewhere. That's a very tough area to hit.
Now, will the seasonal rise in oil demand outweigh the Saudi Arabia-Iranian price war? And what will this mean for North Dakota business?
I think that just like a lot of the businesses in the Midwest and a lot of the businesses elsewhere that were in the countries, if prices continue to plummet, and if everything continues to go the way it is, I believe that North Dakota is probably going to go out of business. A lot of people are probably going to go to the main cities and probably end up, either out of work and looking for work elsewhere in the cities or whatever. But I hope things get better.
Now, where do you see oil prices headed in the next 12 months, and what will that mean for North Dakota?
If they're already plummeting down to 50 or 60 a barrel, I think they'll probably plummet even more, in that it might shut down a lot of more businesses out in North Dakota, putting a lot of people either homeless and or going to major cities like ours, and also, only thing I could do is just pray for them and hope that and hope nothing but the best for them. So,
in closing, is there any last-minute things you want to say for the folks throughout the Empire?
Do your job to help out those in North Dakota.
So in closing, this is OPAC from the Predatory Lender saying, buy more oil. Now, this is OPAC from the Predatory Lender Network out with the news that the International Oil Agency says oil prices has hit a bottom. What do you make of this, Bumblebee?
The oil prices are really ridiculous. They're just sky high and just ridiculous. I don't know. The prices need to come down.
Okay. Now, in North Dakota, business is down 50% statewide and expected to fall further if oil prices don't go up to $50 or $60 a barrel. What do you make of that?
Wow, the prices are really, I think we're really being gouged. I think we're being really overcharged for the oil prices.
Okay. Now, will seasonal demand rise? And will this outweigh the Saudi Arabia and Iranian price war? And what will this mean for business in North Dakota?
Well, business will actually be really good for North Dakota because the prices are actually starting to go up. So I think they really do really good right now for the summer.
Now, where do you see oil headed in the next 12 months? And what will this mean for North Dakota business?
Business should be really booming. Things should really pick up for the summer, and gas prices should be good.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
No, just welcome to Cybertron. Welcome to Hollywood.
So in closing, this is OPAC from the Predatory Lending Network reminding you that OPEC is your friend.